first big winner last night. Zane Smith, I joked with him on the radio while he was waiting the red flag out. I said, you're going to have to win this race twice, because we thought he already won it once, and he did just that. What a fun evening of racing, and it just kicks off what's going to be the best weekend ever for NASCAR. That infield is packed full. Couldn't put another person in there, and there's a lot of energy and excitement in Daytona this weekend.
You mentioned the trucks. Natalie Decker made her run a couple of years ago. Unbelievable here in the Camping World Truck Series event. She's 13th. 15 cars have now been out, and the 16th, the 39 of Ryan Sieg.
He's hanging right in the top 5, third right now, losing a little bit of ground, but doing a nice job. Family-owned team, CMR Roofing is their sponsor, as he mentioned, down there on pit road, and you always see a big contingent of the CMR guys in town ready to drink a couple cold beers and cheer on Ryan Sieg.
And he's got a good qualifying run. He's third overall, 49.88. He's the 4th driver now that is clocked inside of 57.
Fashion, and then that's backed up by that speed.
New sponsor on the car this weekend for JD Motorsports and the gang, and he's doing them proud. Second right now of the 14 that have been out, and here comes the 38 of Ryan Sieg. Typically in the 39, they did some driver movement within the organization this weekend, so make a mental note, and I'm doing it too, that Ryan Sieg is in the 38, and so far tracking really good up inside the top 5.
Yeah, he's bringing his A game, as you can see, even though it's a different number. But what a great season it's been for this team. I think he's got an 8th place finish, 2 9ths, 2 10ths, and 2 11ths in our 8 races. That's 7 top 11 finishes. So really great start. And you expect him, Adam, as you said, to be right up front this weekend.
2 second-place finishes in his career. One of them at Talladega, one of them at Iowa, and a nice
third quick. And now basically all the playoff cars together at the end. That's how they work this qualifying system. Ryan Sieg, 39.
And this is what I tell you, Junior, every time when we get ready for a show. I said, I hope you bring your A game.
Okay.
And that's exactly what Ryan Sieg has brought as his sponsor. A game.
Nice. Well, he's going to need it. I think he can have a great run here, but we've seen him throughout the year be, struggle at the road courses, and so he needs to come out of here with a nice size of points to feel good about moving beyond this round into the playoffs.
Yeah, only 1 point, as you mentioned above Riley Herbst in the playoff standings.
You mentioned A game. CMR Roofing on the quarter panels, another big partner of Ryan Sieg. They've been together multiple years now, and
extending that relationship.
Yeah.
In the green for Ryan Sieg, again comparing to Brandon Brown right now, who's running 10th. Top 10 will have a second round of qualifying.
All the playoff cars to go. Sieg in 8th currently. Burton, Perkins, even Sieg, even.
Most drivers standing next to their cars further down the grid, getting ready to make their laps. Austin Hill, last year's Daytona Xfinity winner. You're standing up here at the front of the grid. What are you trying to learn?
I'm just watching some of the launches here. So yesterday I did a few launches in our practice session, and it seemed like I was spinning the tires pretty bad, which I didn't remember doing last year. So I'm just trying to see what some of these guys are doing, how hard they're dumping the clutch. See, like right there, the 10, he kind of spun the tires a little bit. I think if you can get the grip and not slip the tire, it's going to pay dividends for your lap. So I'm just trying to see how hard I can push it to try not to slip the tire, but to get the most out of my lap.
Adam, always a student of the game. Always something these drivers can learn out here.
I think he's been listening to Michael.
That's what we talked about earlier. You want all the power to those rear tires. And if they slip a little bit, I don't think that's as bad as if you lug the motor down. So I think that's sort of the go. Err on the side of too much. And, you talk a lot about anybody could do this qualifying thing. Well, anybody can't do it perfect. I can promise you that. And that's exactly what Austin Hill is looking for, the perfect lap.
Ryan Sieg is 7th, and it was.
Last time I talked to you, you were dealing with a stomach bug. I'm glad you're feeling much better. I just saw you guys swapping out a tire. Everything all good with the team heading into qualifying?
Yeah, so we're obviously excited about coming here to Talladega. This is, a great place for junior motorsports. But we had a tire equalize, which all that means is that there's an inner liner and outer liner, and the pressures equalize. They're supposed to have 2 different pressures in them. So, luckily it was before the first round, so we were able to get that tire swapped out and NASCAR, obviously works with us in that scenario, and we didn't have to, forfeit a position and make an unapproved adjustment. So, it's unfortunate, but at least we found it now. We're able to still get our qualifying effort in. But to have Hellman's and Right Hunger Spark Change and Walmart on the car this week, we got a good shot at going out here and having a really solid day tomorrow. But I'm excited about qualifying today. We felt like we improved our program in Daytona earlier this year, and the guys have been working really hard to make sure that we got a fast car for qualifying. So we want to be as fast as Xfinity 10G, but there's a number of other guys that have laid down some pretty good laps. So we'll have to see where we stack up.
That's a good luck, Justin.
Talk about those fast forwards. What about this young man here at Talladega? He's been so good teaming up with those Stewart-Haas cars. I mean, you could be talking about a real potent combination.
Segas is putting in for the weekend. We'll have us talking a little bit of pit road entry once this qualifying is over, so stay tuned, because they will be learning, we will be learning, and it'll be something new this weekend at Atlanta.
Ryan Sieg in the 39 car, the Ford. He likes this new Atlanta. When you look at consistency, Ryan's been in the top 15 all 3 races on this new format since the repave. And we talk about a repave, but it was more than just a repave. They added 4 degrees of banking. It really changed from a, man, that car's dancing around. It's getting my attention, because you talk about darty. I would define that as darty right there. But it added some banking, and it's really gone from what we consider a standard 1.5 mile track where you get out of the gas, and it's all about downforce to a super speedway style of race, as we see Sieg comes in 10th.
Just barely clinging to that second round of qualifying.
Had my attention there, Jeff. I mean,
look to it again, see if we can get your attention
so
again.
It goes down. I don't know if it's the apron doing this or the paint, but that thing is doing anything but chasing the line.
I think some of that is what you spoke about earlier, where the white, red, white lines are on the banking change. I think sometimes he was actually crossing the left front tire over onto the banking, off the banking rather, which has less degrees of grip. Because
Ryan Sieg driving the 39. Hard to believe this is his 12th year competing in the Xfinity Series.
Family-owned team.
His dad, Rod, you and I, huge fan. I mean, just such a neat guy.
Yeah, we've had a lot of fun over the years with Rod. Even found him on the grid walk one day on the Cup Series on the grid with a big smile on his face.
I have that picture
Yes.
of you two, and every time it pops up, brings a big smile. Not a lot of speed in qualifying trim for the 39.
Another driver that I would put on the list of having the chance to win, despite where he's going to qualify. Been in the top 10 3 of the last 4 trips to Daytona. Has Ryan.
Nearly won at Atlanta a couple of years ago. That's where we go next week.
Super fast. They're fast as the internet.
You're not going to throw the whole thing out there? You're not going to kick back on that?
Is that a coincidence that everybody talks about how fast Xfinity's 10G is?
There's a method to their madness. Here's Ryan Sieg.
This is a great story with this team. Just coming home and seeing what they can do.
His teammates are 12th and 13th right now. Jeremy Clements on the bubble, and Sieg just a little bit quicker than him.
The driver right now is really feeling that tailwind. You can really feel when you come off turn 2 and that wind is blowing straight down the back straightaway, which it is right now. You really get excited about how your engine is revving up, but then you got to come off turn 4 and put your nose right back into it.
9th for Ryan Sieg. Puts Earnhardt on the bubble.
There's that win. See how significant it is? You don't think that doesn't make a difference on what the driver's feeling?
You can feel it out and about today. I'll tell you that. High temperature, mid-60s. If the wind weren't blowing and that sun's out, you'd feel really comfortable. But boy, that wind picks up and it's chilly, especially. He started on the front row in the last 3 races here at Talladega, his Austin Hill. And, well, he's going to have an opportunity to run for another spot up top again. Ryan Sieg is out in the 39. Another one of those drivers going for the $100,000 tomorrow. It's round 3 of the Dash for Cash in 2024. Second last week. We talked about the heartbreaking finish for Sieg.
We talked about Shane Van Gisbergen hitting those gears. AJ Allmendinger's pretty good at that as well. He's pretty confident when he has to do the launch and the shift. And you can see really smooth, nice launch there for AJ. And then Ryan Sieg able just to hold that car right on the bottom, doing a nice job. This is a guy on the plate races. On drafting tracks.
I like saying plate races.
You know what I meant,
You
right?
didn't hurt my feelings.
Well, on these drafting tracks, he's really good. He's good everywhere. Texas was awesome, but watch this 39 car tomorrow. Dad Rod will be here, I promise you that.
Oh, yeah.
Cheering him on.
See what he does down the backstretch. Coming to the alternate start finish line in the short chute between turns 3 and 4. See if Jones can nail this corner, Jeff.
Yeah, really good lap so far. This is a full commitment corner. So much speed in 3. Third fastest. Marty said it, this 9-car Brandon Jones, a lot of people have talked about him, so he will have, at the very least, a decent starting spot for this race.
39 of Ryan Sieg. Noah Gregson actually started practicing this car yesterday. We continue to talk about the travel woes. He was one of the drivers that kind of had a little bit of trouble getting here. He ended up making practice, got some laps in.
Ryan has raced on the oval before. Best finish of 10th in 2019. So that familiarity that Jeff talked about earlier, just knowing where you can and can't put your car on.
So when we were interviewing Riley Herbst, he was saying he did not feel good about the package they brought here. And he mentioned the 30 car, Noah Gregson, kind of being a teammate. Well, now you know why. I mean, 0.4 of a second off of Gray. I mean, that is a lot to be off. But you also saw John Henry Nemechek have to lift with his Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota. And maybe they just have more downforce driven into the cars. That's going to hurt it in qualifying, but make it better in the race.
Toyota leading right now, and 5th, Jeffrey Earnhardt. Those are the only 2 Toyotas that have gone up to this point. Ryan Sieg will be 0.8 of a second off of what Kyle Sieg. And he's 10th fastest at a 42.93. A little, I guess, resistance there.
With your knee.
But I'm just saying, if you're putting your hand out the window, you're slowing the air down there before it gets to the spoiler. So are you?
But your hand will deflect less air than the spoiler. So you can direct the air if that does indeed work. I don't know if it does or not, but if it does indeed work, then maybe it's better. I don't know.
We're comparing now to 10th because the top 10 will go out for a second run. So if you're in the top 10, you will have a second round as we see Kyle Sieg on track. And then let's go back and remind you of what kind of a ride Kyle Sieg had at Michigan last week.
Watch this right here. Car's upside down, hits the wall, and then you mentioned it, Rick. Further into the wreck when he gets in the grass. Watch this thing tumble.
Yeah, slamming you around from side to side. You saw Kyle walking away from that. The AMR safety crew immediately out there to his attention.
And DJ's flipped here.
Hey, I'm going to go back to Jeremy Clemens qualifying in that Mark Martin throwback. Listen, I just broke out into a cold sweat when I saw that car because most of the time I'd see that car coming in the mirror. But was such a cool paint scheme. He had the red wheels on it. So shout out to Jeremy Clemens and on that run right there with that car.
11th fastest for Jeremy in his run. Here's Kyle Sieg, another one of the Georgia drivers. There are actually 7 Georgia drivers that will be in the field for today's race. Kyle, the younger brother of Ryan, and he's been able to better him 3 times this year on the track. Kyle goes 32.83 for his qualifying lap. The top 10 will make the second round, where they will determine the pole position and the top 10 starting positions.
We've seen a couple of these cars not look like they drove that well, which is surprising.
I hope it's a better month for this team. We've started a new month. You weren't Mr. September. You're hoping to be Mr. October. So being a playoff driver, knowing you need to turn things around, but at a track where so much is out of your control, how do you approach the race this afternoon?
Organized chaos. I mean, I think you come into this place and you just have to be methodical about the moves that you make. You know, having a really good spotter on top of the spotter stand with Eddie DeHaan, Jim Pullman, and this whole 7 team down in the pits. We can do it. We've proven that time and time again. We have the speed every week. We have the cars to do it. We got the soybean machine this week. Beautiful brand professional agriculture Camaro with precision build on the car. We just got to go finish a race. That's first and foremost. It's been super deflating to not get there. But you know, this week's been tough. You know, last week was tough. We're thinking about everybody that was part of hurricane, the disasters that went on, especially all the folks in Western North Carolina that we've seen just the devastations come out of there. And so it's been a tough week, right? How do you get yourself motivated to come here and do good when you're thinking about all those folks that are displaced that have nothing? So we're going to go do our best. We're going to have a lot of fun, and hopefully we're as fast as Xfinity Internet qualifying, and we can go out there and have a good qualifying effort, and then we know we're going to race well.
Reggie Jackson right now is saying, wait a second, I'm Mr. October.